students should be taught directly sometimes. Because can you imagine a person coming with a syringe and just trying to give you an injection? You know, they just discovering. They are not taught exactly what to do. They're just trying, I think. I don't know if you would allow the person to give that injection. I don't know. So when you hear it's not there, that's a try elsewhere and so on. Or can you imagine someone trying to draw blood from you and they're just trying, they're just trying. Or they are trying to do a surgery. There are some things that must be taught directly. And the last thing I will say before Pastor Henry comes in is that God gave us 10 commandments. He did not leave us to research, and I am backing up on what Tashoy said. He gave us direct instruction for salvation. Very direct. So there is no way that we get lost. Yes, I'm going to take it up, Pastor Henry.
All right, thank you. There's a little concern that came to me in this reporting, because I noticed that some of the things that were being said did not pertain so much to direct instruction, but pertained to a lot of what we have been doing so far, and it makes me a little bit concerned that we may not be so quite understanding of what we have been doing so far. Talking about hands-on knowledge and illustrations and that sort of things that are the purview of some of the structures that we have been using. Thank you for your participation, and let's do some review now. Last week in our last lesson, we asked you to go and practice or experiment with some of the techniques and structures and strategies that we have been using. And it will be interesting to hear what you have come up with. And so we are going to be calling on a few folks randomly, and I'm sure after that there are some persons who, if you haven't heard the name called, will want to share. But let's hear what you came up with over the weekend. Share with us your experience as you implemented a technique, structure, or strategy during the weekend.
Okay, the first name is Andrew Myers.
Okay, Andrew, come on in. Let's hear what you discovered on the weekend.
Well, good morning, Dr. Mozart. Good morning, colleagues. Well, I didn't know that the KWL strategy could work in Sunday school. And when I was teaching the adults on Sunday, I pulled the key and I tried it, asked them what they want, what they know about the particular scripture that we were looking at.
Say, me thank God every day. My mother not busy because I can't imagine starting from scratch. But I'm mad. But I'm mad. Happy birthdays. No, Rutendo Ganyura. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day today.
When I tried to make the application and what they have learned, it was just out of time. So I realized that the key can take a long time, and what they want to know, we have a little lapse.
How we are saying,
We have to
ministry
be
put out
targeted.
say,
So yes, it can work.
your ministry make no sense.
In some
Ministry put out say, you see,
where adults are
there's so much
concerned,
vacancy put out the teacher, don't have all put out, you not even see. But you see, we are teacher, we in there, we already get alert and messages. The amount of vacancy out for teacher for the most prestigious of schools in the teacher they want to do. So they must say they still have an issue with teachers as well. So they must say what they need to do is teachers college Teachers College need to make international students more attractive to the college, Teachers College out here. So that, and workers from overseas, blah 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 blah. That don't make no sense. You already have a teacher them out here and pay them well. But you're willing to broke neck and do too much typing or something to carry international people. What about who they already work? That's why them are go left. Seem like how one of nurse left and you see video with the nurse president when she shut down Andrew. She Andrew the on one panel and she respectfully shut him down. Me did put up it too. Me put up it for my story. Me see me can find him back. She just said him plain as it is. Them I said they not pay and she said people say, oh, if you stay as nurse now have no ambition. She talk in front of him. She and him sit down side by side in one press conference at all. But me I say we not get no incentive, no traveling expense, you have to travel all long. Remember, nurses are getting guidance counselors are getting dean are getting principal are getting VP are getting. Why we not get it? We have to travel go work too. You know what I say? So me I say the salary alone we are get as teacher can't then it can't if we not have the picnic, it can't keep we for the month. They can't buy a house out there. They can't make a house out there. They can't buy a car out there. I just hand to mouth. They get me I say so me I say that not attractive to nobody to still and stay here. We want kind people. I see him too.
Okay. You finished? Yes, what I did was that in December, I wrote short Bible verses. And I split it. I cut the papers, I used papers and I split it. So there are a group of children. So what I do have to work together and the Bible verse scriptures together.
That's the case, because I like some of the case of the parents, just this extra level of hassle. Right, but more basic for yourself. See that I don't want to be a jack of all of your life. If you start seeing, you can finish it for yourself. If you say, oh, I'm going to do that. That's how you will. Just like, it's like the objectives, them, like, I just then make something. I was going to say, oh, the simple number. From there, from there.
Before we take the next, how did it work? Whatever you did, although you call it something that wasn't that. How did it work out? Scramble, right? So how did it work? We see some persons, it was a bit, some persons were a bit slow. Yes, some persons were just working together while some persons working together as a group. Some were working individually still. That's why they didn't finish. But the ones that worked as a group, they finished on time. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Little children or bigger children?
Ages 6 to 8. Okay.
Not watching a school.
Nishka.
What's your real name? Abigail. I have a cat. I have a cat too. You know, she over there asleep right now, but I have a cat too.
The noise between faith and practice. I'm telling myself to utilize the key of it. What I know about Paul's thoughts of the Corinthians, the things, I mean, that's just a tip for it. What do I do for the into for the devotion? And I even telling myself after reading the scripture Corinthians, what I learned about things. So that's how I utilize my devotion yesterday in Corinthians.
So you were the group that you were
before because we're focused on cooperative learning, but it really can work out as a studying method. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
In the chapter Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 5, 1 to 3, I discovered what I would have learned after reading the book. So,
Very interesting. Very interesting. Rajani, thank you. Isha. Is Rajani with us?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I wasn't able to implement per se the strategy or structures, but what I did at the practice, we had this question segment where there was a clear structure implemented in terms of before we started, the instructions were given clearly in terms of how persons would answer the questions and in terms of so that there's order. Because we're doing like a study in terms of the investigative judgment. So a clear routine was given, but we weren't the ones actually implementing, but we assisted in terms of letting persons respond and taking the responses in a timely manner.
Okay.
What element of what we've been doing did you find yourself using there?
Yes, the structure. So there
Which structure?
the setting up a good classroom environment in terms of I don't remember the exact term thing, but it's assigned to the routine.
Rajani.
Rajani.
Rajani, I can see you laughing behind the screen. I can see it. I can see you look.
Try to work his way through that. You know, you're not always looking, Rajani. But the sitting there saying, I hope she doesn't call me.
Johnny, we can see. Nadine, tell us what you did. And then we will open the floor.
yes, miss. So, morning, everybody. So, I was privileged to do Sabbath school on Sabbath. So, I used the KWL in Sabbath school, and we were on the topic, so unity in Christ. So, we decided that I was going to find out from the congregation what is unity in Christ, what they know about unity in Christ, and what they wanted to know, and then what they learned. So that's what I did for Sabbath, miss.
Okay, so how did it work? Yes.
It actually worked well because I had some pointers that I shared with them, additional pointers too, about how you can be unified in Christ. So it was a difference for Sabbath school.
So you got responses for what they know, and responses for the
Right. I allowed, because the lesson was done on a whole, so we allowed 3 individuals from the 3 aisles to share.
Okay. And at the end, when you got down to the last column, you think that you successfully how did they know whether or not they had learned what they wanted to know?
Well, I believe they had gained some form of knowledge. It was my first time doing it, so I believe they had some form of knowledge about what they learned about unity, right? So it was a first good try.
Yes.
It's been a good try.
But as teachers, never forget to make sure that the last column is filled, is done. They need to work on the last column, especially on the things that they wanted to do. Okay?
It was done, miss. It was done. I shared some pointers on that, and then they said what they learned additionally about unity in France.
So what I was really asking is if what they said they had learned, did it answer did you see that coming out?
Well, yes.
Okay, it's okay.
At least some. Right. I'm okay. Okay. I'm opening the floor. The floor is open. Yes, Alexia. Morning, everyone. So for me, I tried to think pair chair either or and the kettlebell with my children. Wow. I gave them in the Paralympic at Bethesda. I gave it to them to read, and at first when they read it, they were like, I asked them to understand, and they said no. So we went through it again. I went through it with them and basically explained certain things to them, and then I gave them the questions similarly to how we were discussing them on the Bloom's taxonomy. So I gave them from all the different levels, and I gave them actually gave them like 2 hours to give me the answers. Yes, I gave them time because they had something to do in between and I didn't want them to rush and give me the answers. So I said, give it to me by midday. And then we discussed them and I gave them an in-hour to say, since the passage was talking about faith, really, I gave them, is faith to you more like a compass or a flashlight? And then for the AML now, I made it a little bit fun, so I made myself the subject of that. So what they knew about me, what they wanted to know, and then we tailored.
Are you really practicing on them?
It was good because the 12-year-old, she was even more. The other one is 16. I know teenagers kind of sometimes, but the 12-year-old was a little bit more enthusiastic and interesting, and she's looking forward to more activities like that. All right, thank you, Alexia. Stephanie. Morning, everyone. So I utilize open the floor and random call cards. Okay, say it the other way around, okay? You have to say I utilize random call cards and open the floor. That's right. So we in a small group, we were discussing, I think it was day 3 on place, where we talk about what the place is within the church. So I utilized the random call card. And then after which I utilized open the floor so everybody could have an input in the discussion. So how did it go? It went well, miss. It made me realize that we've always utilized some of these strategies. It's just that we never necessarily knew that it was that's the name of, or we knew it was a name. We just I never realized that it was an official strategy teaching. Okay, that's a structure. Okay, technique. Yes. Nicole. Morning, everyone. So, but this weekend it was rather interesting. I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. My 5-year-old is not interested in anything that I want to do, but the 7-year-old, he gave me some attention. So I asked him, he said, I'm gonna name some food I use a ranking. So I said, I wanted to know which foods you like the most, because every day I say I'm to school with lunch, and sometimes the lunch comes back. So I said, I want to know what are the foods that you like the most, and I wanted to put them in the order from most favorite to least favorite. So these are the list: pizza, chicken, dumplings, fried plantains, and patties. And his response was pizza first, patty, chicken, dumplings, and fried plantains. And at the end he was like, Mommy, you're so silly. Why are you asking me these questions? But it was very interesting to me because now I know if I'm eating lunch, he likes pizza first, patty second, and chicken, and so on. So. But remember, as a teacher, I know these are fun to do, but remember, as a teacher, you need to ask them to defend why they ranked whatever in the way they did. Don't forget that. But you needed to ask him. You should have asked him, or you can ask him another time when you do that another time. Why is it that you prefer this? This is your time to teach some truths to your students. I did ask him this, but he just gave me a big answer to say, because I just like pizza. I'm like, okay, that's your response, fine, but I will take it for future. But you need to press it on. You can say that
what I'm saying now is that this is your teaching time. So you need to press on with that and say, I want to know why you like. Is it the taste? Is it the flavor? Is it what it looks like? Push it in so that you can have a chance to teach him something. For example, why probably it is not as healthy to eat a pizza than the things that he put last on the list. You know? So I'm saying it is at this point that you have your teaching entry. So don't lose it. Alright, thank you, Liz. Juliana.
Juliana and then Ocean.
So I did the KW with my daughter. She's 13. I didn't want to choose anything academic even though I study with her. She's on break, so I made the subject about me. So she spoke about what she knew, what she wanted to know, but for me she only wanted to know one thing. And I'm saying, okay, I didn't clearly indicate what the number of items she should have. So I take it that, you know, if I was in the classroom, then maybe what I needed was follow up is to check for understanding for other content, but for this exercise I didn't. Sure, she wanted to know one thing, so I went through that with her, and after she was able to tell me things that she wanted to know that she now knows. So it was effective, just that I would have hoped for her to want to know more. That's the thing. Right. But never feel defeated when it doesn't all go well. You know, we're all learning and we're all, you know, increasing our understanding of how to manipulate little things. So you did well, thank you. Bashir, last person, no more after that.
On Sabbath, we did first summer school lesson. To save our time, as usual, always rushing Sabbath school. We divided the fellowship into groups, and each group took a day. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then they would have to, so each group took take a day, and then they will discuss the key points of the lesson, and then they will teach everybody. And that saved that time, and everybody was able to participate. And then you learn from each other, because some persons didn't study, so then you'll be able to learn from each other.
All right. Thank you, Oshin. But remember that at the end of every jigsaw, because it is a jigsaw, you did actually a group jigsaw, you need to assess the learning. You need to assess, because at the end of the day, you want everybody to be on the same page.
Oh, okay. So what you mean? So after we did that, the Sabbath school superintendent, he came and take charge. So you want to conclude, because persons are sharing your opinion. So then you want to share facts based on what the lesson presented. So that's after everybody discussed, we had the superintendent actually coming and saying, giving the final points. So like being direct with the presentation. That's what you mean?
No, well, that's what he did, but that is not what the assessment of the jigsaw is. When you assess the jigsaw, you ask the people, you make sure that the people caught the teaching then that was done to them by the groups, right?
Okay. So like ask questions.
Yes, you can ask, you can do it in English. Yeah. That's important, because that's the only way you will find out if they learned from the teaching that was done to them. Right. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
And with the jigsaw to the groups, the teaching goes on in the groups. But what happens with the larger group as well? How is that information shared? Everybody on the same page by the time you finish, right? I think is that what you're saying, Dr. Mozart?
Since that was a group jigsaw, everyone heard the teaching. If it was an extra jigsaw or jigsaw, it would have been done in the groups.
She said simple jigsaw. Is that what she said?
No, what she explained is a group jigsaw.
Okay.
Because she said she gave each day to each group, so that's a group jigsaw. So each group would have to teach.
So there wasn't anybody in the group designated to teach at that
Alright.
Alright, so people, moving on, that was interesting. We're going on to another matter. We are going to do a jigsaw and a group jigsaw and a jigsaw and an expert jigsaw. We need to do some comparisons between the two. So, in your group,
One second. Pastor Henry, 1 second, please. I think there is a second part to this review. There is a second part to this review. There is a continuation.
it's a continuation that I'm talking about this. The group jigsaw, the jigsaw and the group jigsaw, the difference between them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Alright.
So, we like the social skills monitors within the groups to explain to the group members the difference between the jigsaw and the group jigsaw. We were just talking with Ocean, and she had been using the jigsaw, and we were trying to determine, was it a jigsaw, was it a group jigsaw, was it an expert jigsaw? We need to be clear of the difference between these. And so, there are two things we're going to do. The social skills monitors will explain to the group members the difference between the jigsaw and the group jigsaw, while the material persons will explain to the group the difference between the jigsaw and the expert jigsaw. And so those two activities will take place in a 10-minute period. We're sending you to your groups to have that done. And then we'll come back and hear what it is that you have been discussing. So, 10 minutes, and
Yes. Because phones are open. Please join.
skills monitors, materials, man.
Too much to mind. You're all I to end. And if you hear me at all, you wanna try to keep me small.
I'm the social skills person. So jigsaw is the step by step.
Wait, can somebody send something in the group, please?
To be honest, I didn't take a screenshot. Unless you want me to go back to the main screen and take a screenshot. An assignment we should do? Yes. Okay.
Alright, so who's the materials person?
I think that would be me. Right?
Okay,
I think
alright.
you were the materials person before. Wait, is the thing where you rotated? I think when she rotated it last class, so I was the recorder, now I am the social skills person. So last class I was a timekeeper, so what am I today? I guess you're the timekeeper still. Alright, so basically
based on this, the jigsaw method, I did in my assignment. It says a strategy where students become expert on different parts of the topic, then teach it to each other to assemble the complete picture. The other one was jigsaw. So it's I guess they break them into groups, diverse groups of about 3 or so persons, and each member is assigned a different or unique segment of the lesson that's to be taught. That's my take on this. In our assignment, I had put the steps into what it does. So the first one, I hope you guys heard the first one.
You can just repeat over all of that and just jotting it down.
Alright, so the first one, the jigsaw, is a learning strategy, where students become expert on different parts of a topic, they teach it to each other to complete the picture or assemble the lesson together. And the group one is where they're placed into different groups, so you can determine how many persons are in a group, and each member is assigned a different or a unique segment of the lesson that you want to be taught. I can also share the steps with you if you want, or that's fine.
Yeah, you can share the steps.
So for the jigsaw, the steps are prepare the information or material to be learned, distribute the information, students will work together, then students teach each other, and then the teacher will do a final assessment. But the group is pretty much the same thing, but this time they're in groups. So I will drop that in the WhatsApp chat.
Okay.
Jigsaw is the first one, group is the second one.
Because I don't need makeup. Should I be wearing it?
Who's the materials person? Not sure.
Alright, I'm not sure. I think that would be me. So, for the expert jigsaw, I seen that you already stated the jigsaw method. So the expert jigsaw, I think we did something like that in class, where we had a specific like assigned topic. So each of us was assigned like topic 2, etc., and all of us was in one group. And then we went to our home groups, and then we explained the points that we gathered from our specific topics, and then we did the report reported on it. So it would be like that method. You're placing your expert groups, and then you go to your home group, share the information, and based on that, then you give the presentation. So it would be suitable for like more complex learning topics, like the book that we did, if everybody had to read all of the conclusions at once, then they wouldn't get such meat from it. But each person is assigned their individual topic that they would be experts on. Then they would come to their group and discuss and refine and plan out to teach their findings, and then they would do the presentation afterwards. If anybody has anything to add, that's what I got from it. Tell them Andrew Seaton, there's no need for all that.
Abigail, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I check no. Yeah, you can just share your point on WhatsApp if I got things or not.
Me tell us you want to see better, but me no know.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Right. They're pretty much here.
Yeah,
All right, everybody. Welcome back. I know all your questions, your problems with jigsaws have just flown through the window, and you're now able to just explain fluidly what is happening, and you're eager to do so. So we're going to do a round robin. We're going to take all your groups from group 11 down to group 1, and we're going to ask group 11 first of all to respond to number 1, the difference between the jigsaw and the group jigsaw. Group 11.
Good morning, and teaching it to their group. So, for example, when we were given the different chapters to go and read, so each person would have gotten a chapter and they would have read it and understood it and went back to their group to explain or just teach their group on that specific topic. While the group jigsaw would have been the group coming together working on a topic and coming back to teach their class on what they would have learned.
Alright, group 10.
Then what do you think?
It looks like maybe dropped. I'm not sure. Probably I can step in as the first one. Yes. So So for the jigsaw, what we learned is that you are a teacher and you have materials already prepared and you have labeled your materials. So you have your tasks in small groups depending the class size, and then you're going to give them these materials. But each person.
One second, Rosalie. What we want is the difference. What's the difference? There is a difference. That's all we want. We don't want
I
to
was
see
gonna say the difference between that one and the second one.
That's what you need to see. Don't describe. Just tell us what the difference is.
Alright, so the point I was making is what was the difference. Anyway, so when you're distributing the information, so you have small groups in this jigsaw, but each person gets information. And then for the group one, you have groups, but a group is given one particular part, so that's the difference. So for the group, it's a whole group with one part, but for the jigsaw one, is each individual in every group given a part. So that's
Alright. Okay, group 9, and we're gonna ask you to respond to the second question. The difference between jigsaw and expert jigsaw.
Right, so for group 9, it's the second question, right? Right, no problem. So the difference that we saw is in terms of the division of the information. Wait, you said group or expert? Because I think I'm giving expert. Sorry, I think I'm giving. Right, sorry, ma'am. Alright, so in terms of the difference is for the expert, each individual is given a part, but there are no asked to act as the expert. So the example, just if I can use an example to clarify. So the example that we had used is when we're given the chapters to look at where each person was given a chapter from the e-learning book to master that as the expert and then come back and teach it. So that's for the expert. They are given a particular thing to learn as the expert and come back.
Thank you so much, Andrew. But Andrew, how was your day? It's been
Each individual student is expected to teach what they would have looked at.
Okay, we'll sort it out when we get to the end. Yes. Which was that? No, that was group 9.
Right, yes, that's it.
It was group 9. Group 8, we wanted to respond to the same one. Number 2. The difference between jigsaw and expert jigsaw.
Alright, so for the jigsaw, well, for both of them, you assign the role. So you assign a number, whether it is 1 to 5. And then for the jigsaw one, for that one, each individual is responsible for finding information and then coming back to the group and presenting that information. So as to get one whole. Well, for the expert jigsaw, you would need to
It's one, please. Jigsaw and group jigsaw.
Okay, the difference between jigsaw and group jigsaw is that in jigsaw, each individual is given a segment that they have to go and research and learn and then return to the group where it is put together as a collective whole. And then with the group jigsaw, you formulate groups and each group is then responsible for a segment or portion. And then they return to repeat the assignment as a
I think that was Italian. So that you explain things to
All
the parents.
right.
Yeah.
6.
I'm not going to people wrong. I'm going to
Question 2.
jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
No, I can say because I mean, I guess you want to go to my friend first.
And 2 devices off.
I don't say go to school.
Okay. So for group two, what we said is that jigsaw. Jigsaw, the students work more individually before they teach it to their own group. So they really mainly depend on their own understanding of it. While the expert jigsaw, they form a group and each person has a specific topic that they will then form a subgroup, I would say. And they discuss the topic in the subgroup before they go back to their home group. And then they pass on the information that they learned from the subgroup. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Group 5.
part of the question.
Group 5, number 1.
Number one. So one student learns the topic. So each student learns the topic and then teaches it back to their home group. For simple jigsaw, am I wrong? So each student start a group and discusses it with the home group. Yes. And group jigsaw. So the entire group as a collective discusses the topic and teaches other groups of the entire class.
Alright. Group 4, number 2.
So for jigsaw,
Sound expert.
okay, that's
Jigsaw and expert jigsaw, number 2.
yes, sir. So the jigsaw you learn, then teach. And for the expert part, you learn, discuss with expert, then you teach.
Alright, that's very succinct. I'm sure you got it.
Yes, sir.
Group 3, number 1.
Excuse me now, before you move on, I would like when I want to
Repeat that, please.
I said for the jigsaw you learn, then you teach. And for the expert jigsaw you learn, discuss with expert, then you go and teach.
Okay.
Is it correct?
what is not clear is who you teach.
Oh, your group members are the
Okay.
students.
Alright, so, and we discuss with other experts. Group 3, number 1.
Number one, the difference between jigsaw and group jigsaw, what we have is that for the jigsaw, basically it's simple. The individuals learn and then teach their part directly to their group. And then for the group jigsaw, the whole group learns a section and then teach the class.
Group 2, number 2.
Jigsaw and number two. Jigsaw and expert, okay. For the jigsaw, the whole group splits up and each member goes to learn a different piece within a particular topic or on a topic.
turns to teach the group. It's referred to as the foresight or split learn, reassemble, and teach. This is the process. You split, you learn, you reassemble, and teach. That's what the jigsaw. For the expert jigsaw, the specific stage of assign the same subtopic but different from the home group. They meet together to study or master and a piece of material and before going back to teaching. You for the jigsaw, it is the individual versus the whole group, and the jigsaw is between the group and the entire class. So the group will teach the entire class.
Access number one. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to move on the groups. Let's try to get through this now. Before we go any further, is there anybody who has a question? This is Stephen's hand. Anybody else who has a question, clarification?
This and that.
So they would have, if they did the work correctly and if the teacher was monitoring what they were discussing, they would have a better understanding of what they read in the whatever it is they were reading on their own. Now they have different perspectives from others on the same topic. So that's why they are called experts. There is nothing in them that makes them experts at all. It's called like that just to make sure that you understand that after I have discussed this thing a little more with my group members, I should know a little more. I should be a little more advanced in this topic than the others. Okay?
Remember that this is helping students to find the sweet spot and to gather information.
Then you got 3,000 flat where they are when they come here. I must say they want none.
Exactly.
Where you see that there's
That's
a
not
gap,
worth it.
and make sure that that gap is filled. Because your experts will not really be fully experts in what it is that they're speaking of.
You got 3,000 and send the rice and they don't say bitch much. Me not say nothing new.
The weather here is pretty gloomy. I'm not gonna lie. But you know, happy. It's not scorching hot.
be wherever you want in the world. You could say we live on the moon. It doesn't matter. Just choose an address for your home. It's a fictitious address. But it has to fit your home. And you have to decide what you want to call it. I'm not going to tell you where, what name, what address. I hate like the way it because it would be empty. Thinking about it. Simone, okay? The answer? You understand now? You're free. Okay, good. Any more questions on that? Okay. How do we know, another question, how do we know when a learning activity is promoting genuine understanding rather than simply helping students remember information? We assess the students. It's with your assessment that you know your students are learning. You don't just give children students games to play. We assess. We give quiz. Ask them to write something, a story, something based on the thing that you give them to do. We assess. Is that clear, people? Assess, that is how that students have learned. So even if the students taught each other, you need to assess the whole so that you know the whole class, so that you know that each person is on the right track. Is that clear?
I think the kind of questions that are asked would help to know because I think what the person is asking is, I mean, even after you assess how do you understanding, or if they're just regurgitating information. So the quality of the teacher's question is will determine the quality of the evaluation that you give the students.
Right, sure. And so that's why we're learning groups that's to ask the right questions. Right? So if you wanted to know what's the name of the Prime Minister, you will ask them to tell you what everybody individually will write down what's the name of the Prime Minister. So you would know if John knows the name of the Prime Minister. If you want to know how many times the Prime Minister did what in Jamaica, you ask that question, then you would know if John knows that. Yeah, so it depends. If you want to know why this person became Prime Minister, ask that question if that information was taught. So it helps us understand
Ultimately, an understanding is the question that relates to that level thinking.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We had, we had people listening to messages to say that I'm not going to get this again. So you say, Mrs. You answer that with some answer.
Me and the words.
What is what? Please read that again.
Take up the Prime Minister, we're trying to know, we're trying to know. Where about this? Where about this? Where about this?
Validated their true knowledge of the material given, explaining the instructions and contents.
You can take some stuff and tell me the next thing, no, 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 no.
Evelyn, let me tell you about your motivation. But while you're in your right, you lose the right because you're motivated. You need to get that right.
They are the voice of questions, and you have read that before. And you know, it's in your textbook. They are the
I
voice
can
of
write, okay.
questions.
Yeah, man.
It depends on the level of questions.
Mommy, with the pan. Pumpkin? Pumpkin? Hmm? We'll have to send our points in the because we have like 30 seconds left.
Is being recorded.
Hey, the Saints have come marching back in. Welcome home, all the prodigals. I think you folks have had a beneficial discussion, and we're eager to hear what it is that you have to say in response to these questions. What surprised you? What do you think is critical? And what is it that you might not agree with? Whether they're using random calls to get your responses, your feedback. And so, Mrs. Slaughter, where do we start? Group 6. Okay, group 6, let's hear what surprised you, what was critical, what did you disagree with? And make your responses brief.
Okay, so to be honest,
Me?
okay.
Huh?
So one surprising information is that Benjamin Bloom's claim that 95% of students can master what is expected of them if they receive quality instruction, sufficient time and practice and support. Just 1 point under each, or okay.
One point.
So,
What is critical to you?
critical orientation. Prepare students by reviewing prior learning, checking prerequisite knowledge, and establishing the lesson's focus.
Okay,
So
alright.
orientation, presentation, guide practice, and independent practice. So with the presentation, you have to clearly explain or model the new knowledge or skill. And then when you're guiding practice, the students practice with teachers' supervision while receiving immediate correction and feedback. And then the independent practice, students practice on their own. One thing that we disagreed on is that the claim that direct instruction is not effective for teaching higher order thinking, yes, such as analysis and so forth. Yeah.
Okay, alright, good.
Group 10.
Group 10.
Here, one thing that was surprising coming out of this exercise is what Group 6 ended with right now. It says that direct instruction does not work well with thinking need to teach learners to analyze, synthesize, and evaluate. And that was surprising to find out this fact, because when we looked at our space today, we think that where direct instruction is concerned, whether simultaneously face-to-face in-person instruction or children, our students, it is necessary for them to think analytical, critical, and even to evaluate in direct instruction. So surprisingly, this information turned up on us just now. The other thing that we realize, what the people disagree with, is that where direct instruction is controlled, the standards that were set there, when analyzing what was taught in the thinking and reasoning standard, we need to understand that in direct instruction, I believe just as how we set the standard here and online, it can be set in the class, and it is best seen right here. If we have,
what do you disagree with?
The disagreement with is that it works well. Not only with
What did you disagree with?
the disagreement with class management.
What statement was there? What was said there that you disagree with? Because you keep on telling me what it is that you think. But what does it?
Sorry, Pastor, I can read the statement. Yeah, the statement we got is that the teachers often believed that once they have told the students something, they have learned what they have told them. That's what we disagreed upon.
Okay. So your disagreement is that teachers don't believe that.
Yeah, because they believe that you just say something to the students and they believe that they've gotten it. So we disagree that.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
Group 9.
Group 9.
Group 9, so in terms of surprising information, is the fact that Bloom stated in 1981, most teachers begin the school year expecting that 1/3 of students would learn inadequately. So that was surprising to see that teachers would go into the teaching learning process thinking that students will learn inadequately, and went on to say that 1/3 will marginally pass. Now, maybe this is done, but we as a group found that surprising. And in terms of critical information, now, we were looking at the three criticisms that were listed, and we were trying to, in the limited time, critically analyze those and look at it. So it stated that teachers talk too much. So we were looking at whether or not is that a good thing or a bad thing. We see where it can be a bad thing, but we were looking at that in terms of analyzing it. And the second one from that we listed under critical information is in terms of with the students, once you tell them something, that might not necessarily be true, but for some persons, you can tell them something once and they'll learn. So we're trying to analyze that point as well.
Right. Thank you. Group 1.
Yes, what we found surprising was that some scholars have estimated that information supply doubles every 5 years. And
Yes.
on page 5.5.
No, that's true. Me genuinely forgot that the one.
One critical information, we found several, but one critical information was that factual information often serves as a foundation for direct instruction. And we
This
were
is a go back. Oh my gosh, imagine if
looking
you
for information that we disagreed with. We didn't come up with any as far as we read. Thank you, sir.
All right. You are very agreeable people. Let's take one more.
I am here. Alright, so what we found surprising was 95% of all children could master what was expected of them if quality instruction was provided. This is surprising because many teachers may expect only some students to succeed. But according to Bloom's taxonomy, he argued that almost all students can achieve mastery with enough time, practice, and support. What was critical was the core
structure of direct instruction, which is a typical direct instruction lesson with mastery incorporates 4 general phases.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss. One of which is orientation, which is it encompasses checking assignments, reviewing previous learning, reteaching, and ensuring prerequisite skills. The second is a presentation, and this too covers stating objectives, presenting facts and or models, answering questions, and providing examples. Thirdly, guided practice. Practice which is setting up a supervised practice environment, checking accuracy and giving corrective feedback. And 4, which is the final, independent practice. This one encourages out of class practice. They track accuracy, also reflecting is done, and periodic reviewing. And what we disagree with was the fact that teachers believe that once something is taught to students, they will remember. This is not always so. Thank you.
All right. Just before we open the floor, just a comment on a particular word. When I ask what you disagree with, I keep on hearing the fact, not so and so, the fact, not so and so. Be sure when you're speaking, you're talking about a fact or an idea. Alright? Because if it is a fact, if you know it to be the truth, as far as you're concerned, then you might not want to be disagreeing with it. Alright, let's open the floor. I'm sure there are persons here who are eager to comment. There are things that you saw that were not expressed. Alright, I see Oscar Bailey's hand there. I see Vajani. I see Simone. Go ahead, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, sir. I'd like to go back to that statement by when attributed to Bloomberg that teachers expect. Bloomberg, I'm sorry. Bloom. That teachers expect a third of their students to well, in my own words, my paraphrasing, to fail. And I would have to see some sort of data and look at how that research is conducted and where. I think if we did that, I think the vast majority of the students would not accomplish anything. I think as teachers, I know for me, with the classroom, you will allow students the opportunity to set goals, and you work with them towards those goals. But when you look at the range of schools which we have in Jamaican high school system, for example, and so I can say that 1/3 holding true right across the board.
All right, excellent. Yes, Dr. Mazza.
Remember the thing about generalizations that we spoke about? Okay, so this person did his research and this is what he came with. It doesn't mean that all across the world that is true. Okay, so just remember that.
Okay. And also note that what he said and what you said are slightly different. But that's all right. Let's move on. Rajani.
Yes, just going into the same point, and the same reason why I disagree with the 1/3 statements, because
Okay, so that's what disagreement.
yeah, the 1/3 statements, because it seems speculative, just like what Dr. Mazard said. It would have been a generalization of his research, but because we don't get any information in terms of how that research was conducted or the quality. So I'm disagreeing with this statement and not seeing enough evidence in terms of whether to prove if that generalization or sufficient enough data was gathered to do such a broad as these are the ones that is speaking about right across the category. So that's why I'm disagree with that statement.
Okay, very good, very good. Thank you, Simone.
Yes, thank you. So I'm disagreeing with the statement, the section where he talks about, the author talks about standards, and it made reference to thinking and reasoning standards that were listed in chapter 1, thinking and reasoning standards, and he was saying that none of the 6 listed are directly addressed by direct instruction, which I don't agree with, because if the one says understands and applies basic principles of presenting an argument, I think that can be taught using direct instruction, as well as understands and applies basic principles of logic and reasoning. One of the reasons he was given to say that direct instruction will not be effective in the higher order of thinking is because those are require more inductive reasoning, which, okay, I understand that, but understanding and application, I think those, you could use deductive reasoning for those. So I think direct instruction can be used to teach at least those 2 that I read.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nicolette?
Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. So the claim from the research done by Green and Green, that 95% of the children could master what was expected of them. I somewhat disagree with that, as it has not taken into consideration class size, which a lot of our third world countries struggle with, and this may impact the effect of mastery teaching.
Right. All right. Go ahead. I think that's it. That's Stephanie.
Yeah, that's okay. No more hands after these.
Okay. Right. One of the claim that talked about is the superior strategy, that direct instruction is superior. And this was from 2000. And with what is going on, no, it doesn't. You really not test direct instruction head to head against different methods, like type of practices or repetition, and for factual retention. So that's one disagreement I have, and the other one was where he said, the one that said, if learning were telling, we all be smart. Oh Lord. We all be smart and we couldn't stand. It's I look at it and say that what the chapter is really doing is criticizing bad direct instruction, like lecturing without practice or feedback, so those are the good things I am getting from the direct instruction there, which I don't agree with.
All right. Thank you very much. Looking at the process, what you have been doing here, there are certain points that I need to cover. Number one, let me ask you first of all, looking at Bloom's taxonomy, what have you been putting into practice in this particular exercise? What kind of higher order thinking have you been exercising at this point in time? One or two persons, show your hands.
This person take rundown.
Sorry. Random call.
Yeah, we can take 2 or 3 and then open it for you.
Yes.
Abigail?
Simone. Oh, sorry. Random call. Abigail.
Is it relating to the chapter that we just read, the pages?
Yeah, the exercise, the process you've gone through, how you have been, what you have been doing.
In this class, all together, yes? That's what you're asking? In this class?
In this particular exercise that we've just gone through, the manual search.
Manual search. Okay.
Okay, wait, could you repeat what was the question? Sorry.
I was asking, can you say, just say off the top of your head, what kind of higher order thinking we have been exercising to a great extent in this this manual search we've just been doing, what we've been reporting on.
Okay, move to someone else, please. Geraldine. Erica? Yeah, well, I was hoping you would call on me, but I'm like, some of the things that I'm hearing, it's a lot of factors put together, but also at the same time, a lot of it, I'm not sure I can use it the way I'm learning it. I'd have to step it up because it would fly with my students, basically. They'd say, get on with it, miss. So for me, it's a lot of thinking, normally by 12 o'clock, because I'm doing that level of deep thinking. Usually tend to get a headache by so.
Miss, I was just doing some thinking, just as you call it, based on it, in the class, I can only pick up.
You're mute, you're muffled. We're not hearing you.
I'm sorry about that. Not sure if you hear me clearly.
Yes.
Alright, so I was only thinking, based on the fact that I am not in the classroom, but moving forward, and once I get there, I can only, based on this exercise, I can only apply the necessary methods once I get in the classroom. You know, for example, with the direct approach, I know that it is not applicable for, you know, every subject area, but I can only, you know, apply it, you know, in the subject area that is needed. So for now, you know, I can only, you know, apply what I learned, and when I get there, I can, you know, utilize the necessary tools that I need when I get there.
Right, thank you very much. Dr. Moza, if you could probably just like 2 minutes, and just allow me to move the floor so I can get an answer to the question I was asking. Because
Yes,
I'm being...
yes, Natalie.
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Natalie.
Yes, based from what we have done here, the higher order thinking that I've been doing, but I've been actually encouraged.
Yes, what are
Analyzing, you know, identifying these are causes and, you know, evaluation.
Exactly.
You know, and synthesis, you know, here's the 3 ones that I've been seeing so far.
Okay.
Thanks much. We'll be stopping there.
Yeah. So,
Briefly, please.
yeah. So from the group stop side of it, when going through this, I would have used the field
data analysis and comprehension and groups and so on.
Analysis comprehension. Go ahead. Join in.
Okay, so I'll be using the evaluation and the critique as well as testing some of the researchers information that will give up. Alright.
Thank you. Yes, because a lot of analysis and evaluation has been going on here. But going back to the material now, I'm going to ask Dr. Moser to come very quickly on it. But just to say that we must not, as scholars, we must not just take it for granted that because somebody says something that is the case. This is what scholarship is all about. And we must be careful also to contextualize that statement. That statement, for example, about if telling we're doing or something like that. The teaching was telling.
Right. We're so smart, we couldn't stand ourselves.
Exactly. That was said by Mark Twain. And for those of you who know Mark Twain was a humorist and also very the word eludes me right now, but he said a lot of things tongue in cheek, so we need to be careful how we accept statements like those. But very interesting section. Dr. Mozart, take it.
Okay. We have exhausted this, and I hope you learned something about direct instruction. There are steps to follow. Direct instruction is not just telling. That's the point. There are steps to it. There are phases to it. Right? So just remember that. So you need to read that chapter again so that you know how to do direct instruction correctly. Because we can't do it incorrectly. We can just talk this lesson, then tell them to go study and test it. That is wrong. That is not the way direct instruction is done. Alright. The other thing I want to say is that we are finished with this little segment here, and we forgot to do our little, how you call that? Our little housekeeping. So we do that in the few minutes that are left before lunch. We will just mention some things to you. So if you go back to housekeeping slide, back up, please.
They put macaroni in it?
Is there? I did not emphasize anything on this. Micro-teaching begins on Wednesday after lunch. Okay, after lunch, we will give you the opportunity to do your micro-teaching. So you must support your group members by paying attention to them while they are teaching, so that all may go well for him or her, whoever is teaching at that time. Okay. Select a method to keep time in your group during the micro-teaching and be fair. For each person, there is a 5 minutes. Each micro-teaching session is 20 minutes long. So you have 20 minutes to teach your class of 4, your group, okay? There is a 5-minute time for changing teachers. So if you know to stop sharing, to put up your PowerPoint, get ready to teach, there is a 5 minutes in between. Alright? Use your skills sheet, which is at the end of your course outline, to help you your sandwich with lettuce and avocado and lime juice and a little bit of salt, you can fill out your medallion. Alright? So take a screenshot of it or take a picture of it and while you're on your break you can do this. Yes, Roger.
I think you were going to mention it about the Bible teaching. Not sure if you're going to mention it again, but as it pertains, I saw something in the course of time speaking about the group members having a feedback sheet or some evaluation sheet while we are doing the Bible teaching.
The group members have an evaluation sheet while we are doing. Say again.
One of the group members would have some feedback sheet or something like that. This is the download when we're doing the Bible teaching.
Okay, there is a coaching form that you need to download and use your group members, one of your group members will coach you afterwards. But we will show you how to do that, okay?
Okay, that's all I was asking.
That's it. Alright. Iris?
Yes, Doc. I was saying, what did you say about the directions of the
Right, you can call her. Oh, it's a bit small. So put it on selection. Is it on selection? Open your just reduce the participants out so that you can see. Okay, you don't need to pay attention to that. I'm just showing you the menu. Go down. There is another one. That's the one I wanted to see. The one with the colors. Go down. There is one above the topic like that. There must be, there was supposed to be a little one above that. It's not there. Okay, let's forget about it. Alright, so just use a regular one. On one side, please put what is different. Okay, the topic is direct instruction, so put it on top. On top, you have direct instruction, right? That's what we sorry, on one side you have direct instruction, on the other side you have lecture, right? And then you're going to put in the middle how they resemble what is common to lecture, right? And on either side you're going to put how they are different. I hope that is clear. So in the middle you put how direct instruction and lecture look the same, look alike. Alright, and on either side you will put how they differ. Alright, so wish you a good lunch while you do that. Okay.
Right. Thank you for this also. Enjoy your lunch. We come back at 2 o'clock. We have for a couple of minutes by this time.
I'm wondering if I can, during this few minutes, if I can find the diagram that I made. I can't find it for some reason. You know, those things happen. I can this as I don't know what I did with it. I placed it on the wrong place. Okay, I'm going to show you the diagram. Just stay right there. I'm coming.
Just stop sharing.
Stop sharing, yes. If I get to it, yeah.